お過ごしでしょうか。Hi, this is Rie Hiramatsu, an English-Japanese conference interpreter and a foreign accent reduction consultant living in England, and you're listening to Smarten Up Your English. ポッドキャストをお聞きのあなた、ご聴取いただきありがとうございます。アメリカ英語発音を中心に発音矯正コーチをしている Ms. Aiko Hemingway。先日、彼女のポッドキャスト番組 Schwa Girl にてゲストとして出演しました。とても楽しくてあっという間の収録でした。全編英語ですが、彼女からのリクエストがありましたので、イギリス英語発音のプチレッスンも行いました。その時の様子を前半と後半に分けて、解説を交えてお届けします。
Hey guys, it's Aiko. I'm an American English pronunciation coach and business coach based in Hawaii.
最初の部分では、なぜイギリス英語を使った発音改善、発音矯正のお仕事をするようになったのかという質問に答えています。お聞きください。
The British English pronunciation consultant for Japanese speakers. So, would you please tell us why you started that?
Of course. I think it was about a couple of years ago that because I had some experience in international conferences and business meetings while I was interpreting or trying to support my clients there. I had seen many people speak good English, but with poor pronunciation, where their English was supposedly very good or excellent. And I felt sorry, and I thought it was such a waste where they could communicate more effectively and with confidence if their pronunciation had been better. So that was what kicked off, really. And then when I say pronunciation here, I mean more than just pronunciation in terms of like a phoneme or word, but to cover the aspect of spoken language as a whole, from phonemes to speech delivery, both verbal and non-verbal, should I say, elements of it. So working on pronunciation addresses multifacets of language learning per se. And for someone to be able to pronounce a sentence naturally, I think he or she has to be repeating it out loud. And while he or she is saying it aloud, chances are you would, or he or she would, stumble upon some words or sounds. And then by the time they're confident or satisfied with the sounds that they're making, I think they can certainly hear it or pick up when somebody else says the words or phrases that they're learning. That was that. And truth be told, that these kinds of output-centered activities seemingly have been ignored in the conventional classroom teaching exercise in the context of Japanese education system, I thought. So it's great that I can work as a professional interpreter, and that's my bread and butter. But I thought, it didn't change the fact that I wasn't addressing that problem, just not complaining, but criticizing it. And I thought, okay, maybe I should come up with a solution, some sort of, business to address that problem.
It is pretty much similar why I started doing this accent reduction lessons for Japanese speakers in English, because I felt like, I had a hard time my own when I came to the US, and I couldn't really communicate in English at the beginning, and it took me a while to figure out American accent, and now I want to help those Japanese speakers who are working in an American English pronunciation American English environment, so that they don't have to repeat themselves, right? So it's like repeating takes a lot of energy out of you.
That's true. That's true.
It's gonna be so much easier if your pronunciation is understood, right? So wow.
Completely.
That.
That's fascinating. I love hearing what you said, and that's great.
この後、イギリス英語発音のプチレッスンをということで、3つご紹介しています。1つ目は、ある熟語を使って、その音がアメリカ英語とイギリス英語ではかなり違うという、ちょっと意外な発見 についてお話をしています。2つ目、そして3つ目については、イギリス英語とアメリカ英語で大きく音が違う、非常に小さな音の要素の話をしています。特に3つ目は、イギリス英語ならではと言ってもいいと思います。そういう発音になります。そのお話をしながら、実際に愛子さんに発音してもらっています。最初は慣れない音に戸惑いながらも、さすがプロの発音矯正コーチ。巧みに口の形、そして舌の位置などを調整して、この音が出せるようになっていったんです。その様子をぜひお聞きください。
Yeah, thank you. So now I want to ask you if you would give me a mini lesson on British English. I speak American English, but I'm learning British English, and then I find it pretty different from American English. So do you have any words that sound very different from American English? And would you please teach me?
Sure, that sounds fun, actually. In fact, I used to speak with more of an American accent, and I really liked American accent because that was my plan to move to America instead of UK. It just turned out to be this way, funnily enough. Before I started speaking, with British-ish accent, I was speaking with some sort of American-ish accent, I think. And I still like it, especially with some a southern accent, southern state accent. I like it. But anyway, I was thinking about some words, and because I thought you might, hit me with this. So I was thinking about it, and then I came up with some words. Yes, the first one I still say with American accent, and I am not ashamed of it. The first one is actually 2 words. Figure out. I would say figure out. How would you say it, Aiko?
I say figure out.
Exactly. I say it that way as well, but in British accent, it's supposed to be figure out. Figure out.
Figure out. But wait, not out. Figure out.
Figure out.
Figure out.
It's strange, isn't it? If you take out this out, then it becomes figure, and then because British accent is not rhotic, typically, not all British accents are non-rhotic, but from West's country, like Cornwall and places like that, people speak with strong R. So it depends, but typically non-rhotic British accent would be without the strong R at the end of this word figure, but out starts with the vowel, so this R comes back, so we have to pronounce this R at the end to link it with the out, so figure out. But this first word figure is not figure. I always want to say figure, but someone pointed out that it's actually figure.
That is so interesting. So it's figure out.
Yeah, figure out. It's strange, isn't it?
Figure.
Exactly. I still prefer figure out. This American way.
Yeah, American way to figure out. And out is really round, so it becomes more like flat A, rather than the symbol right there. The symbol right there is out. Out.
Out. Like shout out, kind of. Oh, yeah, so that's interesting.
Not but in Hawaii, it's out. That's interesting. Yeah, so in Hawaii, it's out. But on the mainland, America, US, Canada, it's out. Out.
Okay, that's so interesting. Next one, the tuna can. Tuna. Tsuna in Japanese, I think. Tsunakan. Tuna. Maguro.
Yes. All right. So tuna. So in American and English, it's tuna. Yeah, it's short.
Tuna.
How do you say it?
There are 2 ways of saying it, I think. either tuna or tuna.
TU becomes like chew.
Exactly. Like chew the face, chew the fat, chew.
Oh, that's so cute. Like I've people say YouTube in British English. I think YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay, so it's chew.
Uh-huh.
Two ways. So. The one way is chew. Tuna.
Tuna. And also tune, as in iTune, tune would be chew. Like, either chew or chew. It's just, you can say the same thing about the tube, as in subway. The tube is also tube or tube, I think.
Wait, what is the difference in those two?
Oh, those two? One is tube. The other one is tube.
Oh, so the first one is a little bit like separated.
I would say so, yes.
Chew. And the next one is chew.
Tube. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. That's so hard. Like, to me, both sounded the same because I never thought of that chew and chew are different things. I didn't pick up the sound. Wow.
I don't blame you. I was the same, exactly the same, until I started picking up these, nitty-gritty things.
Wow. So it's tune or tune.
Tune, yes. Tune. Yep.
Wow. Cool. And how about the next one?
Next one, very, very simple, like no and so.
Wow. Okay. So in American English, it's no, right? Oh. So. No. So. But this one is hard. The way that you said it, I have no idea how I produce that sound.
I learned your way, and I had no problem saying it that way. No. And that's what I thought it was. I think that's how I was taught all the way. But then I started to pick up people here pronounce completely differently. Like almost like now. Like no becomes almost now. That's what I thought first. And then it was, if you just pay much attention to it, like in detail, it's more like oh, and the tongue position is different. It's different from oh. Like tongue is a bit raised, I think. And then it's really lazy lazy sound at the beginning. And no and so, these two words with diphthong. So of course you have to, and everybody has to focus on, but the first vowel is this schwa. So it's o. It's really lazy sound, but together it becomes very, how should I say, like typical Southern British accent, I think.
Wow. Can I try it?
Of course, by all means.
Okay. Schwa, right? Wait. No. No.
It's getting there. You're getting there, I think.
Do you use your lips more, or you use your tongue more when you move to sound?
No. Oh, I round it towards the end, but at the beginning, because it's schwa, I don't. And I see your mouth shape, and that's perfect, I think. And the second vowel is just slightly round it and close.
Okay. So no. It's a really interesting sound. And air. Wow. Okay. So my tongue is completely relaxed. And lips are not really moving, but my jaw goes up just a little bit, so the tongue goes up just a little bit. So it feels like really natural. Like in American English, it needs more tension. Like you really need to be aware of that sound, right? Because
Right.
So the your mouth is more vertical rather than British English.
Sideways.
It's sideways. Yeah. Wow. All right. Cool. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna practice it. Sounds so cool.
That's great. I've been watching you experimenting, changing your mouth shape and tongue and everything. That's brilliant. I found it so fascinating.
Wow, that's awesome because you gave me a clear instruction, so I was able to.
Thank you so much for listening. 最後までお聞きいただきありがとうございました。私が主催している発音改善スクール Smarten Up Your English のセミナーやワークショップといったイベントやコース開催のお知らせはメールマガジンで行っています。イギリス英語表現、発音のポイントについてもメルマガでお届けしますので、ご興味のあられる方はぜひメルマガにご登録ください。番組概要欄にリンクがあります。そちらをクリックしてメルマガに登録してください。そしてリスナーさんからのご相談、ご質問を募集しています。コメント欄から、または番組概要欄に Twitter のリンクがありますので、ツイートにてご質問、ご相談をお寄せください。お待ちしています。Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.